everybody. It is Thursday night. Time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Jason Thrifts.
And I'm your Thrifty Debbie. Hello.
Hi, Debs. How are you?
I'm good. You know what I noticed today? My eyelashes are growing back. Remember when I lost them when the fire exploded in my face?
Yes.
Eyelashes are growing back. Yay!
Yay for eyelashes. Whee! How's everybody doing? Let's not hesitate. Let's get our guests right in here with. Now it's time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug and try and match it up to my guest. And tonight, oops, damn it. I'm matching my hat up to my guest, too. There we go.
Oh, I need one of those.
Hello, Primo Kimo and Bridget. How the heck are you?
We're doing great.
I have the same hat, except yours is actually made a little bigger. Mine's a little on the small side.
It's not suction right on there.
Yeah, here, I'll do it like, there we go. I'll do it stylish. If anyone watched Oz, I'll do it like Adebisi. He had his hat like way off to the side like that. There we go. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Oh, I see that sweet velvet Elvis behind you. I didn't notice that when we were first chatting. And look at that.
That's awesome. Don't show
it. So every week I got my mug, and it was so funny. Stacy was so cute. She goes, I got the perfect idea. Here, you've got this Primo wooden mug. I'm like, yeah, that's what I used last time. And she didn't believe me. She had to go watch a video. She's like, oh.
Okay, fine.
So we have partied together.
Oh,
Lake.
Okay.
So from 2009, that was the first one.
Nice.
So we have drank together there, and
yes, we did.
Because you cats and kittens are from Vermont, I have Vermont covered bridge rum.
Ooh, have had that actually. That is delicious.
It is Spirits of Old Bennington. So thank you for being on, and cheers to y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I actually have the second year mug right here.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
And what's in there?
Actually, just a piece of paper because I bought it at an auction and a swizzle stick. But my liquor is going in here. I call this drink gin and juice. It's made out of rum and juice.
Very
but
nice.
This is also from Ohana. That's Ohana mug. Yeah, it is.
Are you drinking, Bridget?
Yeah.
She's drinking, Bridget.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The gin and juice also.
Nice. All right. Debbie said she had a story about her tiki mug tonight.
Well, you're going to get part of it right now, but this is my new mug that I got. Now, I looked. There's one for sale on eBay, but the price was higher and the shipping was crazy high. So I asked my friend Lori Watson, who told me about this mug, to the back, get it on Tiki Farm. So I bought it directly from Tiki Farm for probably close to half of what I would have paid. Wow. I have made a mocktail for those of people, our viewers, who don't drink alcohol. I discovered this cucumber, lime, and mint.
Ooh, that's good. Yes.
It is fabulous. And then I threw in a little bit of ginger ale, the bold. But this stuff is so refreshing. So check it out.
All right, cool. Yeah. I like the mug. It looks good. It's huge. In your little.
It says the king on the bottom, right? Does it say the king?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of mugs, I assume.
I don't know, but it's got a little person there.
Oh, how great.
Hold on. I have a assistant co-host.
The child is with us.
So it's me and the child, just like on the mug.
Where did you get that?
Costco. My daughter-in-law, I saw her. She
Stop
got
it.
one for my grandsons. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we ran
I gotta go to Costco. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
We ran to our Costco. They didn't have any. So I ran to the next town over because they never disappoint me. And it comes with all this. I have no clue what this little thing is for. So anyway, we go in there. We didn't see them. And my husband looks over in the returns. They had all these basket carts with returns. Guess what was in it?
Shut up. Just sitting in the returns waiting.
So we bought it. And I told my husband.
Always check the go back rack. See?
That's right. I heard that in my head when we saw that. So immediately I said, I'm putting this in the trunk. And on the way out the door, a lady grabs my arm and she goes, oh, is that the child? Do they have more? And I said, I don't know. And walked out.
And I'll sell you this one for 4 times what I just paid.
Well, they are on eBay. You can buy one on eBay right now for about $40 to $60. And then guess what? We found another one on the pile of clothes. So we grabbed that one too. They're only $19.99. So this is my new little emotional friend.
Oh,
All right.
so cute.
He's my co-host. He'll be right here with me.
All right, you kids, sit tight, hang tight. We'll be back, and we'll hear now.
Okay.
If you didn't catch their first time they were on, the goal was to declutter their house and buy a butt wiping toilet. So we'll find out in a little bit if that happened. All right.
Don't throw that when I'm drinking. I almost spit my drink out.
That's the goal. That's the goal. All right, here we go. Now it's time for our scores of the week. These are the items that you should be on the lookout for when you're out thrifting. What? You sold books? Shut up. I don't believe you.
Believe it. Yeah, these are the manga animes. Let's see. Did we accept the best offer on those? No. Well, sold for $62. Yep.
Nice.
And I have a whole lot more to list too, so stay tuned.
Did you thrift those?
No, they were consignment for the
Okay.
library.
Hey, Mall Madness.
Well, Madness game. The price has come down on these. We actually accepted an offer of $30 on that. There's different color ones. I think the pink one is the one that sells for more. But hey, we paid $5 for it and sold it for $30, and so we're happy.
Very nice. Hey.
Jason, do you ever sell something and you wish you would have kept it instead?
Oh.
That's what I wish. When Bill listed this, I was like, yeah. And then when he said it sold, I'm like, oh no, I wanted to keep it. We paid $2 for this and sold it for, what did we sell for? $25.99. It's really awesome.
Are they still having the sale? Do they have more?
We haven't been back. We're gonna go back. They're supposed to until they sell out. So I'm gonna call.
All right, yeah. So
call her up and ask her, "Are you still there? They got more stuff."
Hit that sale.
I love to sell wallpaper borders. I mean, I usually pay 50 cents each. This lady bought 3 of them. So 3 of them sold together for $29.97. So I paid $1.50 for them. They're so small. They're easy. They're cheap, cheap to buy, easy to store, easy to ship. We also, a while back, had sent 3 rolls, little ones, to Poland. It did take 3 months to get there, but she hung in there with me and she got it and she's thrilled. So people in Poland need strawberry wallpaper rolls.
Very nice. All right. I bought this when the Riviera went out of business and I was at their liquidation sale many, many times. I had bought a dozen of them and this was the last one, just sold, but they were $2 each. And so I probably sold them on average of $25. It's not much, just a round tray. And this one went internationally too. I don't think it was Poland though, but you got to look at everything and think, is this worth money to somebody? And the only tricky thing is they're a little tricky to ship a round tray. It's a little tricky because it ain't normal. Everything else you've ever shipped usually comes in some kind of rectangle square. And then when you try and ship around, you're like, yeah.
That's perfect in a pizza box.
Yes, if I had a big enough one. All right. I sold a couple skirts this past week. And I wanted to kind of just show this one. I sold it for $40. I took a little lesser than I thought I was going to because we did find a little bit of damage in the skirt, which we did note. And the person even said, I'll go 40 because of the damage. I go, that's cool. And my teenage assistant had taken these pictures, which were fine. And of course you would take them like that. But then I took it and laid it out and flattened out the cool images so you could see them better to help really sell this skirt. So
Jetson.
A little combo of what she thought to do and what I thought to do. And it was a quick sale. It was listed for like 3 or 4 days.
Great graphics.
Okay. Lately, I've been doing these little weekly scores videos. So they're quick. They're 10, 12, 13 minutes. And I would check them out. Usually they're going to be around Tuesday or Wednesday. I share some things I'll be sharing some things from tonight's Thrifty Business next week, plus things you'll only see on there, and then bonus tips. But I started to talk about grouping records, and I sold this group yesterday, and I figured it out. If I sold each of these Kansas records separately, they would sell for a total of $44, an average of $5.50 a piece, and I would have to have 8 listings. Putting them together, I got an average of $9.37 a piece and sold them for $75 in one listing. So when you have groups of things like Debbie's books, my records, if there's a reason they go together, I would not waste my time listing $4 records, but I would make one listing to sell them for $75. Hell yes.
And the buyers save money because if they bought those individually, that's shipping that many times too.
And I think a lot of these Kansas records aren't rare. The Elton John I shared on the scores last week or this week wasn't rare. But if someone gets a new record player, gets into vinyl, they're like, oh, I like Elton John. Boom, I can get 6 records all in one quick shot.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Put them on the wall, decorate.
All right, so we can't be talking about Tiki mugs without showing a sale because I've been selling a ton of them lately. But I wanted to show how small this mug is. It's called a goblet. Shag did it for the 40th anniversary of the Enchanted Tiki Room. But as you can see, a 12-ounce can of beer is actually much taller than it, which isn't the norm for Tiki mugs. So very small mug. And I sold it for $340. Now I did pay $2 1/4, but I knew what I was getting. And so when all the smoke cleared, it was about $90 profit, and it was listed for a day and a half, I think.
Wow!
So it was a quick turn. Bought it online on an auction, got it, listed it, sold it in a day and a half, made $90 profit.
Do you have one for your own collection?
Of course.
I just had to check.
But the point is, you don't have to have a huge profit margin. My mom finds a thing for $1/4, she sells for $200. That margin's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I paid $2 1/4, I sold for $340. Not big margin, but a quick $90. And who would sneeze at a quick $90? Nobody.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, Jess. Yeah, you're right. It would benefit from a petticoat. There are no petticoats in this household, so I laid it flat on the floor to work it out. Because I was like, the skirt on the mannequin just isn't doing it. We got to figure out something else, and so I just laid it flat and hovered.
Well, now you need to look on eBay and buy a petticoat for the next one.
Yes, absolutely. Now it's time for CD and cassette scores of the week. And as always, we start out with flipping cassettes first. All right, Deb, I'm going to put you on the spot, even though I know the answer. What does EPMD stand for?
Every person. Oh, I can't say. Never mind.
Wow. She went someplace dirty real quick. I don't know what was going on.
I just realized, I don't know. Every
All right,
person.
I'll tell you in 2 seconds, but if anyone's in the chat knows it, feel free to type it. See if there's any old school hip hop heads in here. That is Eric and Parrish, the two rappers, Eric and Parrish, Make Dough.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so not the biggest thing, but it was like $1, sold for $12. But sticking in the rap world, Vanilla Ice. This is when he was a big pothead, so all these raps are about getting high. And I just noticed as I was prepping this today, so I sold it for $3. I bought it for $3, sold it for $18.50. And I noticed that whoever created the listing on Amazon spelled it wrong. It's mind blowing, and whoever made the listing is mind blown, and it's still sold. It's still sold. And I do like Linda's guess. Every person must dance.
Oh, yes, Linda. That's
so now, of the 100 people who are watching live, no hip hop heads, huh? No one knew EPMD. And then Brian's even funnier. They own a bakery? All right, that was our cassette. And now from flipping cassettes to flipping CDs. All right, Slaughter, hair metal band from the 80s. I didn't even recognize the CD when I got it, but $9. Sold it for $37.
Is that a snake?
That is a snake.
You need to do a snake warning before you bring one up. Now I'll dream about it.
And, I've been telling everybody I bought 2,401 CDs in one lot for $1,200. I shared a Mariah Carey I sold last week for $100. Here's Mariah I sold for about $50 internationally. So there's 2 CDs, $150. I've already sold about, where am I at now? About $300 worth. And I've only sold like 7.
Nice.
So we're just starting to list them. Now, today, if you watch my little teaser video, you saw me share the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers soundtrack and the Hocus Pocus soundtrack. So be sitting down, hold on to your hats, kids, because if you're not flipping CDs yet, you're going to be like, I should be doing this. I paid $20 for Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, and I sold it for $100.
Wow.
Now, I teased today and said, would you have spent $20 on this Power Rangers movie soundtrack? Most people are like, nope. But even better, and it's funny because when my assistant pulled the CD before she saw what it sold for, she pulled out the Hocus Pocus soundtrack with Bette Midler and Kathy Najimy. And she's like, whoa, he paid $35 for this. I hope it sold for a lot. Yep, $150. Woo-hoo!
Good job. It's nice when you know your niche, because then you know.
$150. So there's 2 soundtracks. Spend $55 and turn it into $250.
Wait, you mean people still buy CDs? nowadays.
CDs, cassettes, records, all day long. Whoops. I forgot Stacy's little intro. But wait, there's more. Hold up. It's time for Stacy's budget bin scores. All right, Stacy pulled this heavy metal hits of the 80s out of a budget bin for $1, and we sold it for $17. Now, if you've been watching this segment since we debuted it, she's had some higher ticket ones, some 30s, some 40s, but the average is about 15, which if you have two of you go and source them, and you go someplace where there's a budget bin, if the one of you can work the budget bin, man, if she pulls out $10 CD, so $10, and turns them into an average of $15, that's a Peggy return rate right there.
Sure is. And now is she scanning all these, and that's how she knows to buy
Yes.
it? Okay,
Yes.
good.
So Brian says, but it says promo on it. Yep, it's all I sell pretty much is promo CDs. I sold tons of promo CDs, tons and tons. Now, if you haven't learned yet, you should be taking my courses. Flipping CDs #2 is my most recent one. Head over to flippingcds.com. You can get my flipping CDs courses, my cassettes. You can get the whole bundle where we throw in flipping print CDs, flipping Christmas CDs, all kinds of stuff. And I'm starting to give away one. So I'm going to ask you a question. Yep. There's my question. So do me a favor. Please do not answer if you've already taken the course or you're in the Secret Beach, because the courses are in the Secret Beach. Let someone win who has never taken the course. All right. I teased. Stacy says she rocks.
She does. I love her.
I teased it earlier. I said it's a singer from New York City who I just shared. And oops. Let me take this off, make sure my things are in order. I don't want to ruin the, there we go. Okay, ready? So this will be the first person who can answer this question. If you don't know the answer, it'll be the first person who can Google fast. Ready? Here we go. Speaking of Mariah Carey, she has been married twice. What's the name of her two husbands? Now, Debbie, I usually ask you ahead of time. I didn't, so don't get a shot at the answer. Do you know the answer?
You think I know?
You don't know either one?
No.
Really? All right. If you've not taken my courses and you know Mariah's two husbands, you can win.
The child doesn't know either.
Elisa is guessing Tony Bennett for everything. I don't know why, but I've seen her type Tony Bennett like 7 times. Cheech and Chong. Close. Close, but no. Mariah's been married twice. Huey and Lewis. Nope. Oh, we have a winner. Bappity Bap Bap. Nick Cannon and Tommy Mottola.
Woo.
All right, Bappity Bap Bap. I don't recognize your name. Thanks for tuning in. And you've just won either Flipping CDs #1 or 2 or cassettes or whatever you want. So do me a favor, message me on Facebook, and or if you can't find me, leave a note down below and I'll hit you up later. But congratulations. Yep, there are her two husbands.
Oh.
When she was young and innocent with Tommy, and then with Nick. So there you go. Check out flippingcds.com. If you didn't win, if you haven't taken them yet, I make thousands of dollars every month on used media, and you can too.
And he's not the only one. Those of us he's taught, we are making money too.
Heck yeah. Now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
This is a dud. I mean, it's sealed and it's been sitting around since 2017. So it's only $17.99. It's a game. Remember, everybody was selling games. So anyway, it's still here.
Maybe retry your title with Sherlock Holmes a little closer to the front.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was just looking at that.
You spruce up the title, it kind of reinvigorates it in the churn of eBay.
Yeah, and put that's a good idea.
And you're missing a very important word in your title here.
Oh boy.
What kind of bear is that?
Oh, a grizzly? Is that a grizzly bear?
No, grizzly bears are not white.
Oh, that's right. With the bear the ones that live in the ocean. I forget.
The polar bears.
Polar bear. Oh my God.
Who typed this listing, Debbie or Bill?
Me. It's old, since 2017.
Hey, apparently you needed classes in 2017 because your title says 1993, but the bottom says 1998.
Uh-oh. Oh, that saved me an item not as described.
Yes. So let's clean that up. Let's get polar bear in the title. Absolutely.
Polar bear and change that date.
Yep. Absolutely. Now, if someone wants this adorable little mug, as you can see, Debbie's look, it's been up for 3 years. Debbie's ready to make a deal.
I sure am.
The book kiosk. Look for the bear. All right. So Stacy and I went to Disney and we took a VIP tour of the Animal Kingdom, and you get these lanyards that light up for the end of the night show. So it was part of the package. I don't really care if I kept them or not. And they light up. I sold the first one for 10. And then the second one sat. And like you, Deb, if you look up here, 2017.
No, that was a very
Someone
good
just
deal.
offered me $7 in free shipping, and I took it. Bye-bye.
Yep.
It's gone. But this is my headache. Now, Anushka, great brand. We talk about this all the time.
Yes.
I've had this canceled twice. So it's not a dud product. Shipped it out to the first person. Now look at my listing. It's on a mannequin, so it kind of shows you where it sits on a person.
Right.
And I always have all the dimensions. And the first person sent it back and said, it's too small. What more can I do? I have it on the mannequin. And then the second person buys it, waits 2 days and tells me, oh, I didn't mean to buy this.
Oh,
She
wow.
said, I didn't realize it was used. I see that now. That's my mistake. If you can't cancel, I understand, but I'd like you to. So I did. But I'm like, why is this awesome purse that Stacy found such a headache to sell and get rid of? It's like a boomerang. It just keeps coming back to me. It doesn't stop.
I just want to know what that first buyer planned on carrying in it if it was too small.
And it's not like the hugest purse, but it certainly ain't the smallest purse. So who knows?
It's the
Who knows?
perfect purse.
But I'll keep on selling it. Now it's time for Where in the World Did Our Stuff Go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. Okay, we don't pre-plan this. Like Debbie gives her segments, I got mine. There's never a discussion, and you'll see why that's important in 3 seconds.
Okay, these wine glasses went to, let me see if I can pronounce this, London. They are a man and a woman. A friend of ours gave them to me, and in exchange, I had to buy her a big package of Bounty paper towels at Costco. So we swapped. And then the buyer messaged me, and they wanted to buy a man and a woman. And the shipping, if something wasn't working right, I said, hold on, we redid the listing for her and put these two together. So she just had to make one transaction, and she was thrilled. And they're on their way to London.
Now, you say, I think it's pronounced London.
London.
Just a friendly neighbor to the north. Mine's pronounced Manchester. And the reason we kind of highlight this, now look, glassware, anyone could want it anywhere. There's some cowboy in Manchester who needed a Circle S Western cowboy sport coat. So
Nice.
that's why you got to list worldwide, because you never know when someone needs something that you're like, really? Manchester, England, there's some cowboys? That just blows my mind.
Oh,
But
yeah, they're everywhere.
Apparently the UK, between Debbie and I, is the hotbed of activity. Now it's time for You Have Got to Be Ship Me. What to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping. Oh my God, I love your tip. I know what it is. I love it.
Do you really know what it is? I may surprise you. So anyway, we keep your scale. We have a big pool table in the living room, so we do a lot of our work there. So anyway, we've shipped, I think it was your mom's Tiki mugs we just sent to her. It was a big box, and we put all this stuff in, and we're trying to keep the weight down. Or maybe it was an international package. I can't remember. Anyway, so we had it all ready to go, and it was 2.8 ounces. That 8 ounces was going to add it was international. It was going to add like $20. It was those glasses that I just showed you. So we had to unpack. And so I started going backwards and taking out ounces. Okay, this paper weighs 1.7 ounces, but the bubble wrap only weighed, I can't even see it now.
1.
Yeah. And so I was like, whoa, I didn't think about that. Because I always talk about using packing paper, which we still have packing paper, though we get it at Sam's Club. But having the scale there, sure, speeds things up instead of running back and forth to the kitchen. And then we're able to see how much we had left. We cut cardboard off. We cut the box down. We did everything and got it under 2 pounds.
And I knew that was what your tip was going to be. You can use the packing paper when you're shipping something in a flat rate box, because then it won't matter. But if you're at the precipice, yes, bubble wrap is way lighter than packing paper.
And pool noodles too. We stuffed some little thin strips of pool noodles down between the glasses so they wouldn't touch, and they were bubble wrapped and all that. So yeah, we learned something that day.
Now, we've shared this before, but since I almost made the mistake, I wanted to share it again. What I was shipping in this box did not have a battery that could explode. So as I finished shipping it and was setting it in my tub to go out to the mail, I realized at the last second, I saw that the sticker caught my eye, and I'm like, whoops. Yeah. So when you're reusing boxes, which we all should do if you have a good, still quality box, if it's got, saying that there's food inside or a plant or a possibly exploding battery, make sure to get rid of all that stuff. If you can't peel it off, mark it out. The post office sees things marked out. They know that it's not that, so you don't have to go crazy. But if it's something you can peel, go ahead and peel it off. Just get rid of it. But make sure to check all sides of your box.
We bought a roll of really nice brown paper at U-Haul for like $4 for a big roll, and it covers everything. So whenever I have to cover something up, I just slap some of that on.
There you go. Now it's time for the Thrifty Tips of the Week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you are outsourcing.
Okay, my tip this week is know where your favorite parts of your thrift stores are. Something you can always usually find something for stuff, because sometimes you don't have a lot of time. So when we're out and about, and there's one right next door to our post office, and we know not to go in there because our profit piles are exploding. But I always go down this aisle, and there's always the lady that takes care of their books. She'll put sets in boxes. These were $1 each. I've never seen a set of these before, and I'm going to list them for about $99 or maybe a little bit more. So I paid $15 for them. So Bill's off going to wherever he goes, but I always go down that aisle first. This is where I found all the Dungeons and Dragons books that we're making bank on right now. So if you have a special things you look for, and in that thrift store, I got 5 minutes. Run into your favorite spot, see if there's something there for you, instead of going, there's nothing, and then sometimes you got to leave and get home because kids are hungry. So.
Wait, you don't have little kids?
No, not anymore. I don't know. But some people do. Oh.
All right. So I teased these numbers, and I told Debbie, I said, hey, think about these numbers. Now, if you're not familiar with the term arbitrage essentially means buying something new at a store, discounted or not, and then reselling it for obviously and hopefully a better rate. Online arbitrage, same thing. I'm just buying from a website and it's coming to me, and then I'm reselling it online for a higher price. So what is 19.1 and 33.4? What's your guess, Deb?
Okay. Okay, Alex, this is my answer. Can you see that?
Good guess. Actually, great guess, but no, not at all.
Oh, darn.
Okay. So I bought a product in Phoenix, Arizona, from a business that anyone could walk up to and or could order from. And then I sold it on eBay for twice as much. And the person who bought it lived 33.4 miles from the business I bought it from in Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
Then 2 days later, I sold an item that I bought from an Atlanta business. And that customer lives 19.1 miles away from the Atlanta business. So the point is, don't be afraid to buy things and put the price up. Look at that. People in the neighborhood where I got it, they didn't go online to buy it directly from them or walk into the store. Now, I kind of get why you're not walking into stores right now, but both of those went right back to the city I got them from, and I charged twice as much. Okay?
Now, haven't you done that with Frankie's, like with Tiki mugs?
Oh, yeah.
Places, people in the same city.
Don't be afraid, because some people are just like, I got to buy this quick. I need this right now. And they don't look around. They do not look around. So
some people have more money than time, and it's very convenient to buy it online and have it on your doorstep in a couple days.
Absolutely. But good guess, though, Deb. That was a good guess.
That's all I could come up with.
No, I liked it. Now it's time for our online selling tips of the week. Doesn't matter if you're selling on Depop, Etsy, Mercari, eBay, or Poshmark. Here's some little tips and tricks to help you out when selling. It's the circle of life. Sorry.
Keep your day job. So Bill discovered this. Everybody else may know this, but not us. See the little circle in the bottom? There's an online report that we can download and print out, and it creates this amazing spreadsheet. Because I know there's trackers and there's spreadsheets and things you can buy and run it that way, but we didn't know this was here. So he did it one day. So I put the steps. First, you go to the Seller Hub, to all orders, and then when you click on, it takes you to this next page that says manage. I can't read it; it's too small. But click on that report, and it downloaded really quick. And I'm not good with Excel and CSV and all that stuff, but he got it up and it gives you everything. The only thing we couldn't find, I think, were fees paid. It tells you California, whatever sales tax they collected, the transaction number, on and on and on and on and on. Everything was on that spreadsheet for us.
I like it. I love spreadsheets. I'm a big old nerd for spreadsheets.
I love Google spreadsheets, but not Excel.
All right. When the deal is too good, don't haggle. I've yelled at my mother. She's gone in to buy something that's worth $200 for $5 and haggled them for $3. So this was a mistake I made the other night. This mug's worth about $50. I meant to list it at $74.99. As you can see, I listed it at $7.99. And I didn't mean to show their name, but Dana Green wanted to haggle to $5.
Oh my God.
Well, of course, I declined and priced it properly. But boy, if you see a deal that is so underpriced, don't haggle, because I would have, if she would have bought it, I would have taken it in the tush. I would have, hey, look, it was my bad. I would have shipped her the mug. She would have got a hell of a deal. But trying to save $3 on a good deal.
Oh, I bet she was shocked when you refixed it.
Yep. So it happens. We've all made those typos. But my point is, you see that deal, you get it immediately. Don't haggle.
I would have snagged that in a heartbeat. I love that one.
Now it's time for Unseasonably Sold. What did you sell out of season? All right, time for our last segment. Then we'll get the kids in here.
Yes, I hope I didn't show this before. I talked about it. Sesame Street Christmas CD sold for $18.50. We paid $1.99 for it, and it's in July. Hey, Christmas in July.
And I have that for sale. Mine hasn't sold yet, so you beat me. Now, I listed this next thing I'm going to show you, and I said, let me see if anyone's got one for sale. This was 3 weeks ago. The only other person who had one for sale was my mother. And so I said to myself, self, let's see who sells theirs first. I'll put it up for the same price. Her sold a day later, and mine sat and sat and sat. However, mine sold for $2 more.
Oh, good job.
So these are little shots from the Miracle pop-up Tiki bars. So it's a mistletoe. See the big toe?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So, Mom, I sold mine, but for $2 more.
They didn't have those at the Jungle Bird when we went for the sip and whatever. Nice.
All right. So, real quick housekeeping. Beachcombers, we're back to store reviews tomorrow night. Charlotte Moore is up. She's got a great store, and she's got a great variety. She's actually really, really paying attention to all the different webinars within the Secret Beach. And she's got Tiki mugs and sports hats and t-shirts, all this awesome stuff. So I can't wait to review her store. And let's look at this shag thing I got in the mail the other day. Doesn't look too good, does it, Debs?
Oh, ouch.
There is an epidemic. It's an epidemic sweeping the land of people who cannot ship. This is from a major auction house in LA that ships probably millions of dollars of stuff every year. And this is how my shag painting came, because they didn't ship it well. And I have 2 other stories I'll be sharing next week. So with that being said, this is the first time we're actually doing the shows kind of combined together. So first on selling past your expiration date, being thrifty over 50, this Sunday, 7 o'clock, East Coast, 4 o'clock, West Coast. We are doing the first part of shipping SOS. So one of the members of the thrifting board said, hey, I'm selling these products. I don't understand how to do flat rate. I can only do calculated. It's all messed up. So we're going to work with that. And then on next week's Thrifty Business, the return of Mark Levine, who is the owner of Bubble Fast. And so between these 2 episodes, we're going to get deep into, holy cow, people can ship. Please listen, because I can. You've seen my dad ship well. I have 3 stories. 2 happened yesterday from major companies, and one of them was Disney yesterday that messed up the shipping of my order.
Wow.
So I can't teach all the big companies, but I can teach all of you to make sure that you don't send a shag picture worth a lot of money and it shows up in multiple pieces.
Wow.
All right. All right. So this is the first time we've ever done this. Oh yeah, I did complain to them. They're going to get back to me once they figure out what to do. And I wrote them back and they didn't reply. I said, as a heads up, I've got a lot of stuff from you. Never anything broken. Whoever packed this, not enough packing material. And I say that from an educated standpoint. I've shipped 5 days a week for 20 years. So I know what I'm doing.
They need to know about pool noodles.
Yeah. All right. So our guests tonight are returning guests. So I did a little catch you up. What happened on the prior episode?
I grew up in California, in Palo Alto, and I vacationed a lot in Hawaii. And as a kid, I loved Primo beer paraphernalia, and I collected hats and shirts and things. And then as I got older, I still collected. And then I got a wife, and she made me stay here. I think that's what happened. So I guess just, time goes on, right? So, and then all of a sudden your stuff that you had for 20 years that you haven't looked at, of course, that starts to become a burden. And I turned 50, and I need one of those butt washing toilets, and they're like $1,000. So I'm like, I've got to sell this stuff. The stuff that I didn't want in the basement went up in the pink room. So the Velvet Elvises and the Whitco.
Angela's gonna faint.
Wall stuff. I mean, I probably have 20 Whitco pieces of it.
Tune in this Thursday, July 23rd at 8 p.m. at my YouTube channel, Jason T. Smith, and find out if Primo actually decluttered his home and sold enough to get his $1,000 butt wiping toilet, and we'll find out how COVID has affected him and his wife Bridget's life. And now it's time for the Thrifty Business special guest of the week. Oops. Yay! That was my first previously on. Look how tiny this hat is on my head.
Aloha.
Hi.
This is like Debbie size right here.
It is tiny. It seems very it's very sleek. It's slender.
Yeah, we'll definitely wear it on top because I would have kept it there by the end of the episode. I'd be passed out. I'd be like, oxygen to the brain. All right, so that's the little.
Hey, Debbie.
Previously on, and so you guys are gracious enough to come back. So if you didn't see the first episode, I would go back and watch. Great episode. Plus, just you're so full of knowledge on furniture and stuff. It's so great to hear. So the goal, Deb, was they were going to declutter their house because they had just pink rooms full of Whitco and Velvet Elvises and basements full of stuff. And he wanted an expensive toilet. So I should have had a drum roll thing ready. Did you declutter? And is your tush extra clean?
So what I'm showing you right now are all the new icons on my remote control, and my fanny is sparkly.
It's delightful.
She likes it too.
We'll give you a Carlton on that.
Yes, Carlton has a butt washing toilet.
What happens if you lose the remote? Are you on your own then?
There's little buttons around, so it's got like ground effects and stuff, and it lights up, and right in the side, emergency buttons.
And now for the next video, Primo going to the bathroom.
Hold on, let's go.
So we'll get back to the did you declutter in a second. From that show, how long did it take to get the toilet?
I mean, technically, it took. I just didn't order it for a while, and you had to, it was a complicated issue. They ran out of the toilet seat that I wanted, and you can't put the toilet seat on a regular toilet. You have to get you don't have to get a Toto toilet, but I wanted a Toto, so it has the jet propulsion, uncloggable, and the toilet seat. Yes, and it's kind of like Mission to Mars. I don't know if you went to Disneyland when you were a kid, but you start leaning back, and all of a sudden everything rumbles, and then you blast off.
I want one.
Yeah, they all. I have to be very honest. They're great, and I have to be very honest. I was totally ahead of the curve. Obviously, I'm a genius.
Now I have to ask: does it have warm water?
Yes.
Okay, because there are $29 cheapy options, which I may or may not have, and it's cold.
It's you got to have the warming water, and the difference between the cheaper ones and the expensive ones aren't a lot of different things. It's just warm water, warm seat, Like have a little fan, you know, a little gentle breeze to dry you off. And
dang, mine's from the ghetto then, I guess.
well, it's just a matter of, you know, you might upgrade at some point so you can get some warmth.
Yes, some warmth. I need warmth.
So there isn't like we lost the remote to our Apple TV. So our phone can act like the remote. They don't have an app just in case you lose the remote.
Not specifically for this, but
so like you could be on the toilet, Bridget could be in the other room, and be like, he needs the fan.
Yes, you can. You can do
so
that. You can do that if you chose to be.
Okay, so the $1 million question is, Bridget, do you like the toilet as much as him?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I was a little scared of it at first, but now I absolutely love it. It's great.
Does it play?
I recommend it.
Does it have music?
No, you have to bring your own Bluetooth, you know, speaker in with you.
Bring your phone in, you know.
All right. So that must mean you decluttered your house and sold a bunch of stuff, right?
Well, I mean, I will tell you that my house looks almost exactly. Well, it looks almost exactly as it did last September. Whenever I was having a little bit of trouble being very excited to list things after August of last year when things kind of slowed down. And so the piles were piling up, and I actually posted on your group there, and I was like, please, people, help me get inspired. I need to sell.
Remember
and
that.
People said, shut up and sell. And I did, and it worked. And but we just pulled more stuff up from the basement and put it in the place where the other stuff was. So no, our house is still a big giant pit, but it's at least, you know, a third sold off. It just feels the same.
Yeah.
Well, a third's pretty good, Debs. I couldn't say that.
Neither.
It was very it worked really well. I mean, I can't believe the success I had last year. I was very surprised with how much sold, how quickly. In fact, the only thing that slowed me down from selling more was you actually do have to package the stuff, and that takes a long time if you do a good job. So,
yep.
I got to be I got my little badge from eBay, you know, my world eBay guy, and so they give me discounts and stuff, which is nice.
Congrats.
But I have to ship in one day, so it really limited my speed, and I guess that was okay because I didn't need to go much faster.
He's very hardcore when it comes to packaging up things properly. It took him 3 hours to package an arcade game control panel the other day.
It was going to Australia.
3 hours. 3 hours. But, you know, it's going to get there safe and sound. So that's all he's concerned about.
Yeah, and if you would have said it took him 3 hours to package a CD, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
Doesn't take me that long for a CD. That's like 2.5 hours for a CD.
Yeah. No, but what you said was kind of great, though, because sometimes you need motivation. And although you don't know many people personally in my group, the Thrifting Board, 57,000 members, free help, find it on Facebook.
Amazing.
You said, hey, I need a little motivation. And I'm gonna guess that some people were like, you can do it, champ. And some people were like, hey, ass, get to work.
Do it. Yes, do it. You know, turn on the music.
When you get both of those from people who don't really know you, they both work together. You're like, oh, that person wants me to succeed. Oh, that person just yelled at me. But it gets you motivated. It absolutely gets you motivated. And it's not a bad thing. We all get in those ruts. And, I work hard all day long and all night. I work probably about 12 hours a day on the norm. And there's some days where I'm slacking and I'm feeling bad, even though I've just worked 8 hours in a row. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. And if I let that happen in a couple days in a row, I might say, Deb, kick my ass.
Oh yeah, I'd love to go. It's called tough love. It's called tough love.
On around here.
But that's great that you used the group that way and it got you motivated. Now,
it was very positive.
Speaking of selling, COVID happens and we're stuck at home. And Bridget, you had a job outside the home and don't have that no more.
I don't have that anymore. No. So we decided that, hey, I'm going to start selling with him.
I mean, it was this was she's only had 3 jobs in her adult life. And the first one ended when the store closed. And then this one
which was in the recession, like in 2008, when there was somewhat of a recession. Where I worked then, it closed. So.
And then this one closed in March because of just the law. We had to close down. And then it wasn't until about mid of May, that the company basically sent her a letter saying you're permanently gone now. So she was like just laid off. What's that?
Permanently on vacation.
Yeah, yes. And we took that time to, not really to be on vacation, but to really get, since this is a whole new thing, so weird and new, we were like, well, we probably do need to, think about being independent from the world. And I've always sort of been that way, but she's always maintained the job that gets the health insurance and so forth. And
I like knowing, budgeting and what for sure will be coming into the household. So that's why I've always liked having a job outside of the home.
like feast or famine. I was like, I don't have anything to eat. Oh my God, I got a Rolls Royce. Thank you. That's how I like to do that.
But this is, exciting for me. It's something we've always sort of dreamed of or thought would be really great. So, I'm excited for it. And so far, the worst thing is that we bump butts because our desks are so close to each other and we sit back to back. So we're constantly bumping butts together. But that's about it.
That's the worst thing.
I was hard being together all the time because Bill's job ended 4 years ago and we're together like 29/7, So
yeah, we are too. And yes, she's the most annoying person on earth, but I love her so much. That makes up for everything. So it's cool.
We have a little dog that's sort of the buffer.
Oh yeah, he's the buffer. Did you see Pokey?
No, he's.
Did we see it? Yeah, we saw him last time, I think too. But
yeah, we always like dogs. Hell yeah.
Oh, we have different.
Pokey.
Oh, see the dog. See the little dog.
He's basically a real baby Yoda.
He's our Yoda dude.
All right, so here's the question, because Debbie and Bill work together, my folks work together. Did you sit down and say, okay, you're going to do this part and I'm going to do this part? Or do you kind of do everything, like she lists some stuff, you list some stuff? Or
no.
Is there a division?
The way it works now is I've done this for 20 years and you don't have a job. So get over there and do all the work and then and tell me when you're done. And then I'll list it. I'll go in and make sure the words are right.
He has me cleaning stuff, photographing stuff.
She's not wrong.
He's so particular, though. It stresses me out. I can take 100 pictures of one thing because I'm like, oh, no, that's not right. No, that's not right. And then,
pictures are probably the hardest thing to learn.
They are. For me, it's been very hard with the photography. It's getting the right color and, I have something that looks great when I take the picture. When I actually then go to like upload it or look at it on the computer screen, it looks very like a blue tint so that's
it's frustrating. Yeah. And I want her to get over the frustrating parts. I'm really sincere about, us doing this. So I have really been, it's been basically what she's been doing for the past few months is learning how to do it. Yeah. And it is super easy on the surface, I think, but to do a really good job and make a living from it, it requires an intense amount of, you have to be almost whatever a professional is at this.
The guy that took 3 hours to package one thing.
And it was bulletproof. When the guy opens it up, he's like, throws away the item and goes, this packaging. I'm just gonna put this on my wall.
I bought a item on pre-sale on Etsy like February, March, and I couldn't remember what was supposed to come in. I'd emailed the guy once and he goes, yeah, they're due in summertime. So then I'm on Facebook and I'm seeing people holding theirs and people internationally holding theirs. And I'm like, where's mine? Now, I don't care how hard you work. This is not how you respond to a customer. Sorry. No, he didn't say I'm sorry. I said, look, I'm working 8 hours a week. I'm only one person. You're down the line. And I'm like, I know I work at least 88 hours a week. I have never, ever said that once to anybody when they said, where's my stuff? Well, let me figure it out. That's what I would say. I'm so sorry there was a delay. I'm like, I don't want to hear your sob story. I work just as long and hard as you, and I've never once mentioned it until tonight.
Wow. What's his name?
Yeah. And his name is Primo Kimo. No. What you said is so true about the pictures and getting the color right. So I have a teenager taking pictures, and I have an adult doing the listings, and I had, and they're great. I absolutely love them. It's the best team I've ever had in terms of people who work for me. But I was talking to the teenager. I said, hey, you know those Tiki mugs you took pictures of the other day? You needed to dial the lighting back because she's using a box, a cube, and dial it back. I go, you made them too pretty. The color was a little too popping when it isn't that, it's way more bright green, and it's really not. It's more mint green. And I go, it was too hot. And she goes, oh, okay. I go, so maybe you take the picture, walk away, and look at the picture. And I go, we don't need to redo them, but going forward, make sure that what you're seeing is what's showing up on your camera.
And that's exactly it. Yeah. It is for sure. And I'm also like, I like all white background, and that comes from my furniture days when I put stuff on One Kings Lane and First Dibs and stuff, where you had to have a white background. That was the first picture, always had to be white, and the rest of them you could either have a white background, or basically the rule was, with furniture at least, you could have a cement floor and a white sheetrock wall, but everything pretty much has to be that. So that's where I learned and came up with my technique, which everything's not always white on a white, perfect on a white background, but that's what I go for. I mean, that's because I know people like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you say white jeans, like I shared last week, you can't do white jeans on a white background. What
you can. You know what you can't do in a white background? Polar bears. Because they're white.
Is that a grizzly?
Don't you live in California? You know what a grizzly bear is, right? Don't you?
Could have been an old grizzly, like my beard could have just turned white.
We have brown bears.
The big silverbacks. They're not silverbacks. They have the big grizzly bears that do have gray somewhere on them.
Is that like Afterplayers somewhere? I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere.
Boy, we've gone down a weird path.
The bear path.
Tonight,
all I can think of is Summer Rental with John Candy. Is it Summer Rental? No, it's the one where he shoots the bear in the butt, and then his
Great
butt.
Outdoors.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That's
You just happen to have a coffee mug for sale that has a polar bear on it, in case you're interested.
So Bridget, had you ever done any of this listing, taking pictures, selling, or had always left it to him?
That was his job.
She's toyed with it from time to time.
Yeah, every so often, but it's what he had been doing while I was outside of the house working, and it sort of kept it at that. And so, but we've always
been there.
Yeah, we've always sort of talked about, wouldn't it be great if we could do this together? And so this, just this whole pandemic thing has sort of forced us into that. And so far, it's good. I'm learning a lot. And
she's a good picker, though. I mean, she's always had that part.
Yeah.
So she knows what to buy.
Yeah, I mean, I love buying. That's always fun.
Was there anything that surprised you? Like, oh my God, this is way more work than I thought it was, or this is
everything.
Yes. Again, 3 hours to package something.
I was watching Dick Van Dyke though as we have packaged.
I'm looking forward to really getting the hang of things and having a quicker process. Like I said, I've struggled with photography. We're in the middle of actually making a room into more of a photography studio with the backdrop, with the special lighting. So I'm hoping that will help me, because I just, I get discouraged by taking 100 pictures and not being satisfied with any of them.
Garbage.
So I'm just looking forward to really getting the hang of things more, and then having a quicker process, because I want to be as efficient as possible. Get as much on, one post on your Facebook I saw where somebody had said that they hired someone that lists about 25 things an hour, and my jaw fell to the floor when
I don't know
read
what
that,
they're listing.
because I mean, for us, for me, it's like one thing an hour with doing the research, taking the photos, cleaning the item if it needs to be cleaned. So from start to finish, you know, I'm like, that's 1 hour. So, you know, what are these people doing where they're able to they hire someone and they get 25 things listed in an hour? Like, that was just mind-boggling to me. So,
and still is, quite frankly.
That'd be great. if we could actually meet those standards at some point.
Well, I could definitely do CDs because short of them need to be resurfaced or cleaned. And then if I list on Amazon, all it is barcode, price, condition, and move on. Yeah. So, but yes, you guys are selling some cool piece of furniture, and like that is definitely not anything quick. Like we're going to share some scores, and the things hanging on the wall like that. That's not quick because man, you've got to figure out how much it's going to cost to ship.
Yeah,
you know, pair of jeans, pretty easy. Big thing on the wall that you've never shipped before. You're like, do I have a box for this?
And that's another interesting thing that we hadn't done before. And like Bridget was asking me, she was like, could I say that we were kind of snobby about what we buy?
No, you were snobby.
Oh, I was snobby.
This is what you were doing.
It's me.
He definitely, he was a snob when it came to what he was selling
on eBay.
And because of you, though,
you made me less snobby.
You did.
Jason, you're so low rent that we're just going to follow your.
Well, he started to try things that he's never ever tried selling before.
Clothing, CDs, smaller items, which are insanely easy to ship and insanely easy to list. And, and we were like, look what you've been missing out. Thank you. eBay is our marriage counseling. Yes. Yeah, right. After 27 years, we're still hanging tight, and then we've been working together, or in the same proximity for 4 months, and it's pretty cool.
We haven't killed each other yet.
No.
And having that freedom, that's what we could never give up now. When you say, hey, let's go out to lunch, or let's go here, or let's go spend a week in Tahoe or whatever, you have the freedom. There's no one saying, nope, you can't go until next July. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
We've literally been nowhere, but we could if we wanted to.
Right. You have that freedom. You have that option.
Yeah.
I work at home at night. Like, so I'm in my office right now, and when we're done, I'll head home. We'll have some dinner, and we're streaming we're binging 4 shows at the same time. So I'll keep working, but it's a job where you can keep working and watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, Hyperdrive, Jack Ryan, and The Floor is Lava. So every night we watch one episode of each. And that way I knock out, like last night I was filtering through records for the Teenager Take Pictures of Today. Tonight I'll be working on some more mugs. And you get to work, be with your family, because Stacy and my dog are sitting right there. But I'm working the entire time and still enjoying the TV show and my family time. And
it's important that you knock out the Netflix responsibilities.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to get through all of TV during COVID.
We've been watching Cedar Cove on Hallmark. Oh my gosh, we love that.
I haven't even heard of that. No.
Yeah, it's Andy McDowell, and it was from 2014, and it's really good. I love because it's up in Washington, so they talk about the Seahawks, and I see the Space Needle, and I'm like, oh, I'm homesick. Bridget, I wanted to say too, when you were talking about someone listing things 25 in an hour, did that person that posted that, are they just doing everything, or are they just given the item and they've already got the picture?
It must be that it was somebody that she hired.
Was that like her son or something?
I think no longer her son. Somebody was asking about. Somebody had been asking about what do you pay someone that you hire to work for you? And then I was reading all the comments, and that's when I read this person lists 25 items an hour. So I'm guessing that she probably does all of the research or whatever first, and then
So
you
that
know,
was-
she has the person taking photographs and listing. She didn't mention the steps that this person does, but I was shocked when I saw 25 items an hour. And it did run through my mind like, oh, it must be really simple things like CDs that maybe you can find an image already on eBay and reuse it, or something like that. But
we'll get there one day, girl.
yeah, I hope so.
People always ask me how many items do you list an hour, and I say I never could answer that, because you should do like Henry Ford assembly line. Yeah. You shouldn't take pictures, then do research, and then list one item. So like last night, I sorted through all these records. I went through 2 boxes, turned them into one tub of, we're definitely listing these. Okay. And what I do when I do the sorting is there's a Post-it that goes on with the condition of the vinyl and the cover and the price. And then the teenager gets them and she knows, okay, these are singles and these are groupings. She knocks all the pictures out. And then Kelly, my assistant, she's already got all the condition and the price. All she's got to do is figure out the extra nugget. And sometimes if I see a nugget that I notice right away, I'll say, here's our hook for selling this. If not, she takes that time to look up, oh, did Eric Clapton play tambourine on track 7? We'll talk about that. But then she can go pretty quick because the pictures are loaded from the teenager. I've given her all the information she needs other than the nugget. And so you can look at a whole day or 24 hours, say, okay, between the 3 of us, we knocked out 50 listings in 24 hours, Now,
that would still be impressive. I don't think we've topped 10 in a day.
You are selling bigger things than if anyone saw the first episode. You had a lot of pieces of furniture. That ain't quick nor easy, especially if you think about the shipping end of it too. No way.
Yeah. It has some complications to it, but we've definitely. Last year I really got my system down at that point. But I mean, even with listing CDs and stuff, I mean, I would be happy if I could get literally 10 a day. I think if it includes like even a couple of CDs and then some more complicated stuff, it still would take me 10 days. And I don't think I don't really have the best process because we don't. We go into the basement and we go, ooh, look at this little box of jewels. And then we take those upstairs and then we go, oh my gosh, let's look up the history and let's do fun things with
Maybe
these.
We should keep this.
Yeah, should we keep it? Where would it go? Okay, now we don't want it. Let's list it.
All right, so I can't help you with you losing focus, but what I will say is sometime this week or beginning of next week, let's get down a Zoom little Zoom chat and let me see your process of doing CDs, because since I've done it for 20 years, let me see if I can shorten it a smidge for you to give you some shortcuts and
Thank
stuff.
you.
All right, well, speaking of you selling things, let's talk about what you sold. All right, let's go. Are those the duds? Yep. Okay, cool. All right, so let's look at your duds first, because it's always better to end on a high note.
Yeah.
Isn't that annoying? Isn't that pretty? I think it's pretty.
It's a dud.
We can't sell that we can't give that away for some reason.
So how long have you had it up?
Various ways for since last summer.
Oh,
it's been on eBay. It's been on Facebook Marketplace. We've lowered the price.
We have $20 into the whole thing. I mean, it's not like we have a lot into it, and but it's handmade. Everything's good about it. It's just shocking that no one wanted that.
Did you guys get married?
We wanted it when we bought it.
Yeah.
But no one else wants it.
I have an idea. You need to contact that lady on Flip in Vegas that does all the home decorating for her husbands when they buy all those houses to flip. She might want it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what it's for. I mean, this is a whole bathroom makeover. You can go to 1992 or 88, Mexico, California, Tex-Mex, something. I don't know.
It's from the 80s. That's what
it is from the 80s.
Right? Yeah. So
the 80s are coming back. Just hang on.
We'll keep it in the box.
Yeah. So if you need a Mexican looking bathroom, there you go. They got the stuff for you. All right. So what is this?
So Yeah, it's a bunch of garbage, really. But it's
You're supposed to try and sell it right now.
I know.
If anyone wants it. This is a bunch of junk.
It's $10 a piece, and
We're
there's a
great at
heart.
this thing.
There's a fake namaste kind of thing, and then there's 70s from the brown ages. I mean, I feel like $10 a piece, and maybe people aren't realizing how big these are. The biggest one's probably 5 feet across.
Wow.
And the heart is 3 feet across, and the other things are...
I don't know if people can necessarily tell in the photos, but there is these are not in perfect condition.
Can you tell? For the heart,
the heart, you can tell. But could they be cleaned? Probably.
Yeah.
They're fabric, so they're from the 70s with the stretched fabric over a wooden frame. So I'm guessing you could unstaple it, somehow launder it, and then.
Apparently, there is a very easy way to clean these, and it involves lemon juice and leaving them out in the sun or something. But I've had them for 8 years, and I haven't tried that, and I'm not about to either, quite frankly. So somebody buy these for $50 right now.
I might want that heart.
You want to keep that heart?
Yeah.
Now, what I would suggest is if they're big and you're thinking they're not getting it, have a picture with one of you standing with it. And I would say Bridget, because she's way cuter.
Yeah.
So, because that way it'll really put it on Front Street how small or big it is. Like it's a human. Oh crap, that's way bigger than I expected,
That's a good point.
Doesn't have to be your lead picture, but it could be in there.
Well, and the lead picture is that top one that he was saying, sort of namaste, which is, I think the heart should probably be the lead picture.
Possibly.
Because the other ones, browns, and I don't think they're all that great. So change the picture.
I think you should do 3 listings, because if I just wanted the heart, I don't want to pay $50, or someone just wants the namaste, or someone just wants the 3.
Good point.
Put all these things together, and somebody may just want one part of it.
Thank you. That's a great suggestion.
And I think that might be why it's not selling.
Yeah.
Somebody just wants one and doesn't want to pay that much for it.
Right.
Now, is this the thing that went to Australia?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I ended up taking the steering wheels off, and then they had all these parts on the inside. Who would know that electronics would be so complicated?
Oh,
and so by the time I had that taken, it took me an hour to take it apart. It's like another piece and another piece, and I'm like, well, I've got all these tiny little screws and everything. I had to put them in plastic and label them. I mean, it was a ridiculous packing. Oh.
What do you remember what you paid for this?
Well, I back in the 2000s, I actually bought out literally all the local arcade dealers. I bought all the arcade games from 5 different arcade people who put arcade games in places. So all the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, in 95 up to 95 stuff I bought from them as a huge giant pile, and then I've sold it off over the past 20 years. So I only have maybe 5 games left, and a pretty nice pile of parts. So I may have paid nothing for that. I mean, in the truth of things, but
so to back up to your dud, that was stretch material over a frame, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I just saw a napkin. Right. You can't really tell how big it is. So.
Put Bridget in, and then you'll know. All right. So steering wheel's 175. How about a radio? Who listens to a radio?
Not a lot of people. This is a tube radio though. And so
yeah, very cool.
The guy who bought this, because I often will I'll just look at who's buying my stuff and decide whether I want to sell it to. Not really, but I like to know who I've sold to. And this guy was a radio buyer, a collector.
And
hey, I have a question for you guys. I mean, you may have an answer.
What's that?
But
I have the answer.
When people don't leave you any feedback, do you contact them to, find out?
I don't.
No, you don't. You don't want to
no,
okay.
Here's why. Don't poke a sleeping bear.
Yes, okay.
They might have had a horrible experience. Probably not. I'm a good seller. Debbie's a good seller. I'm sure you guys are too. But something might not have met their expectations. They might have thought, oh, I thought this radio was cleaner than it is. And so if you poke them, then they're like, well, shit, now I'm going to leave feedback.
Right.
And I wasn't going to anyway. I know it stinks that those that don't, but you know, you look at my feedback score, it's almost 19,000. Yeah, I've had way more transactions, like 10 times that over 20 years.
Right.
Whatever. You know, my 19,000 are good. It's 100% positive. Yay.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't ever poke a sleeping bear, because people have done that to me. And I'm like, you know, I was on the edge of being happy or not. Now that you're poking me,
Right.
because one of the shipping things I'm going to talk about on Sunday and the next Thursday, it was another major company who they screwed up, and now they're bugging me for more money.
Oh wow.
They screwed up, and so I'll go into the details, but I'm like, you're not making me want to come back and shop. I'll tell you that right now. You keep bugging me. You made the mistake. You want money? Go to the employee who screwed up, not the customer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I actually saw a feedback on Amazon one time, and the guy, it was a negative. He goes, "You asked for feedback, now you got it." That's all he said, and he left a negative because people don't even your money, and everything. They don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Now these are awesome, but this is where I got to imagine it took some time to figure out where the box was going to come from and how to ship these.
Oh,
that was why we put them on
Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace. And somebody, in fact, they came. It was out of state. It was New Hampshire, actually, the purchase, but a sister lived up here in Burlington, so they. And I will always keep stuff. So oftentimes, I don't know why anybody wouldn't do this, but on Facebook Marketplace, it's hard for me to be super comfortable there, but I am becoming comfortable because it's so without rules. I put it up there, somebody sends me a whole bunch of money, and there's no, I'm like through Venmo. I don't even know if there's if he could do a chargeback or anything. I don't even know if that could happen.
We've had some great success with Facebook Marketplace.
nice.
Yeah.
And I don't ship anything from it.
And,
I did ship one thing. That's
and because we've been isolating, Primo makes it clear that we're not going to interact with the people.
right.
And so he gets the payment before they even come and asks them, please contact me about 20 minutes before you arrive, and I'll make sure that your item is out in our driveway for you to pick up. And it's worked every time.
It worked every time really well, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
It's been great because we were so worried, like, how are we going to do this without interacting, physically with the people? And it's worked out perfectly. So
That's awesome.
yeah, we're psyched about that.
All right, before we show your last biggest best score, do us a favor. Give our guests a big old thumbs up. Give Debbie's new toy a big old thumbs up. Give my tiny little hat that's squeezing my brain right now a thumbs up. And please subscribe. If you've not subscribed before, click the bell after you subscribe. It lets you know when we're going live. And I want to send a shout out to Craig and Rick. They crossed 1,000 subscribers last night. So congratulations, guys.
Hooray.
I'm about to cross 12,000. So please subscribe if you're new to the channel. And let's start with the picture first, because this bottle is only 8.5 inches tall. Let me see.
Yeah.
I think this mug, okay, this mug's about 7.5. So 1 inch taller than this mug. And before we show what it's sold for, where'd you find this?
In a box in our basement.
I want to go in that basement.
Yeah.
It was a box of, like the glass insulators.
Yeah.
They're all over the Northeast for sure. And this was just a glass thing that came in this box of stuff that came with something else. I don't even know. And Bridget was like, shopping in the basement.
I was.
And she's like,
I had my phone down there with me, and I'm like, oh, let's see what this is worth.
She brings it up and she goes, I'm gonna list this. And I'm like, okay, this is all you. It's all on you. You do all the picturing and the research and everything. And this is what she came up with, was this.
All right, so I'll give you the fireworks and the congratulations and the hula dancer first, and then we'll show that more. So you shopped your basement and you said, I'm gonna take this tiny little bottle and I'm gonna sell it on eBay. Oh my.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we did have an offer for about half that price, and
Within 3 minutes of listing it.
And
Like,
Primo was like, "Hey, Bridget, you really need to consider this." And I said, "I don't think so. No."
Yay.
Well, it's all on you then.
I did say
like,
that. I said it's on you.
I'm willing to take that burden upon me. And what do you know? And then literally about 20 minutes later, somebody came in with the full asking, and then it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know nothing about this.
Whoa.
And I would say that the specifics on this, it says Philada on the bottom, which is some sort of shorthand for Philadelphia. So I know very little about glass collecting. I know people collect it, which is always I like to buy things that people collect. And I knew it was from the East Coast, and the turny part, the way that locks on, it's like a locking top. That was very unique and cool. And when we looked at auctions, well, she really did most of it, but I was pretty excited too. I did look around a little bit. The sales on auctions were like about anywhere from 800 to 1,200.
Yeah.
Wow.
And because we didn't know anything about it or the quality or anything, that's how he came up with that price, and there it went.
Yep.
So, Craig said that paid for a couple of flushes.
Yes.
It did.
And you can afford a gold-plated toilet now. I bet you packed that bottle very well. Did it take 3 hours?
Yes, that was another 3 hours.
A box inside a box and tons of bubble wrap. We were very worried about it.
So here's what I mean. Look, it's sold for an amazing price, but here's my little tip. All those periods in your title are kind of a problem for search engines. You don't need them. Don't put them in there.
Okay.
Well, talk to her. I wouldn't have done that.
I think no. I will do some drafts, and then he does the final edit. So that was all you, buddy.
Man. Well, it's this. Thankfully, this one sold quickly without confusion.
Yeah. I mean, look, great sale. So you can't complain. Just for the future, leave those extra periods out.
Thank you. Okay.
Really, the only punctuation you ever would put in is if you're typing the word like can't or don't, like say it was in a title of a book or a movie or a music, or if you're selling an original Wham UK exclamation point, I'd probably put that in there because that's how they spelled it. But other than that, you can leave semicolons and quotes and all that crap out because it doesn't mess up in eBay. But if people are Googling it from outside eBay to come into it, punctuation tells search engines to pause, to stop, to move to the next line. So that's why for everyone out there, that's why you don't want to have unnecessary punctuation in your title.
Great. That's a great tip. Thank you.
And that's that. So it was great to see you guys. It is great to see another couple working together doing this because that's what a lot of people do. I see a lot of people in the chat that I know they work with their significant other selling online. Sometimes because that's what they want to do. Sometimes because of things like COVID, like that's the only thing we can do right now. So it is very great, but it's also great to say, hey, look, we bump into each other. We're still working this out. Her pictures aren't the best. It's not a mean thing, but it's a work thing. And so you do have to find that separation. I'm sure Debbie and Bill are like, Debbie's like, no, Bill, better pictures. But you got to find that there's those moments, especially if one of you is way better at than the other, you have to stop being husband and wife for a second, or spouse or spouse or significant other, and say, hey, here's how the pictures need to look. Like when Stacy's doing her own listings.
All buster.
Yeah, he's very comfortable with that role.
So I tell Stacy, I go, this is great, but it would be better like this. And so you gotta remove yourself for a moment, like, okay, you're not my lovey wife or my lovey husband. You're the person who's been doing this and they know it. So, but it is great to see you guys doing it.
You as well.
You're such a wonderful couple. It's so fun to have you guys on. So you just bring joy and happiness.
Yes, thank you so much. It was it's been a great year, I guess. And I do have to thank you very much. I mean, like not only your group has been helpful, but your tips about CDs, and we've had success with that.
Very much so. Yes, thank you very, very much.
Mm-hmm. All right, Deb, I'll let you have the last word.
Oh, I was going to say we're all working towards the same common goal. Many. So as couples, and I know there's times when Bill just wants to slug me in the back of the head, but he just gave me the thumbs up. But we see things differently each too, and I've been doing it since 2002, and of course I have my way of doing it, and then sometimes his way is better than mine. And so, we just have to work together because that's what we want. We all want to be infinitely wealthy and have all our freedom, and so. Yeah. eBay and all these other marketplaces are a really good way to do that too. So
thanks for the encouragement.
Oh, heck yeah. Anything you need, I'm here. The group's here. And I already talked to Primo. I said, hey, I want to do some more things with you. He goes, sounds good to me. Let's do it. So
nice.
You'll be seeing more of both of their expertise in cool vintage stuff. I got ideas to do other things. And so stay tuned for that. So make sure to tune in on Sunday. We're going to start talking about make sure you're shipping well. And I will give you the 3 horror stories of the 3 major companies that send millions of dollars of stuff who don't know how to ship. And just as an example, I got stuff from a company today that when I opened the box, my assistant looked in and it was 2 breakable things. And she kept looking in further and further because there was no packing material. They just put 2 breakables in the box with like 7 peanuts. Like, what's the point of those 7 peanuts? That ain't doing nothing. So we're going to talk about that on Sunday and next Thursday. Make sure you're all fine-tuned. I'm sure you're all great shippers, but we're going to make sure that you are and have all the tools at your fingertips. And with that, I say thank you, Primo. Thank you, Bridget.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Aloha.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We'll see you around the thrifting board.